From Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go, this is Valley News Live at noon.
We begin with breaking news. According to court documents, the man believed to have been involved in the murder of 55-year-old Jeffrey Szulzicki is now in jail. 57-year-old William Raymond Poitra is being held on unrelated charges. Szulzicki was found dead in his room at the Budget Inn Express in Grand Forks Saturday afternoon. His death was ruled a homicide. Officers responded to a 911 call that initially came in as a stabbing, though police haven't said how Szulzicki was killed. Court documents say that Poitra resisted arrest and that police also found meth on him. New at noon, a Fargo man is in jail for domestic assault and his victim is in the hospital fighting for their life. Police say it started last night around 10:45 on the north side of town when they got the call for a domestic assault. When they arrived, police found the victim with serious injuries. That person was rushed to the hospital. 27-year-old Cody Plumley was then arrested for domestic assault, burglary, and other charges. More charges may be added if the victim does not recover from their injuries. We'll find out more today about Minnesota's rollout of the COVID-19 vaccine, and Moorhead Mayor Jonathan Judd will be a part of that announcement. Governor Tim Walz is holding a telephone press call this afternoon to discuss the state's COVID-19 vaccine distribution plan. And officials with the 1st District Health Unit confirmed that vaccinations will become available to some in North Dakota as soon as this coming Monday. Health officials say 6,850 vaccinations will come into North Dakota next week. Those will go to Minot, Bismarck, Fargo, and Grand Forks hospitals. 7,800 vaccines will come the following week. That batch will also go to healthcare providers. The same week, 13,000 vaccines will go to public health units to vaccinate EMS workers. And the week of December 27th, we should receive an additional 9,750 units. Those will go directly into the healthcare system as well. Hospitals in Minnesota are reaching capacity as COVID cases surge, and many are worried the major hospitals in the FM Metro will soon fill up. Valley News Team's Brian Sherrod spoke with the Vice President of Sanford Health about hospital capacity in Fargo. He joins us live. Good afternoon, Brian.
And good afternoon, Jordan. You know, we just talked about an hour ago, just put an update involving the capacities when it comes to the beds. And what Vice President Doug Griffin told me is that they're actually at pretty good availability, which is actually really good for them. They were saying they will accept any patients of all types right now, but also letting you know that they are accepting them all across North Dakota as well. But if they ever happen to get full, what they'll do is they'll find a way to make room, especially for those priorities like strokes, heart attacks, and even trauma. They're also saying with the vaccine in play, they could see the beds become more available, but it's slowly but surely instead of rapidly.
We know that it probably won't be until the second quarter of 2021 where we really can get a large number of the public vaccinated. And that's really what we need to basically squelch the disease.
Now, what Dr. Griffin also said is that they have enough staff to give these vaccines, and at the same time, they also have the designated locations as well. Now, when it comes to supplies, they're saying that some of them will have the vaccines in them, and that will include syringes and even needles. Now, what they're saying is for these priority patients that they could see it as early as December 16th, but that's an estimation, and that's coming from Dr. Griffin as well. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put up in the web article all the information that I just said shortly, and I'm going to go ahead and toss it back to you in the studio, Jordan.
Brian Sherrod reporting live, and a reminder, this is only the beginning of the end. Doctors are still reminding people to wear that mask and to socially distance. We are 5 minutes past the noon hour. Live look outside. Not too bad out there. Some blue skies. Feels pretty good. Actually, it feels really good for this time of the year. Lisa Green is in, and she has a check of that December 8 forecast. Good afternoon, Lisa.
Good afternoon. Yeah, temperatures are already soaring. So here's a look at what we've got going on our map right now. There are places in the 50s as we speak. We're talking Jamestown, Oaks, Gwinner, all at 50 degrees. It's 53 in Sisseton. Fargo's at 44, and it's 45 in Grand Forks. You can see where that boundary is between the really warm air and the regular warm air compared to average here. We're into the 30s over to the east. Remember, average is in the 20s, so we're all above it, and it's 12 o'clock. We still have a couple of hours of heating yet to go. Fargo's record high, by the way, is 53, and Grand Forks, same thing. So we're looking at being pretty pretty far off of it right now, but temperatures could still surge. You're going to have to keep an eye on that here as we head through the day today. But we're looking at some warmth, and the sky's starting to clear in southeastern North Dakota. Fargo, one of those spots too. There are places up north and over to the east under mostly cloudy skies, and this will just be the case today. Some variable cloudiness, some places enjoying a lot more sunshine, other places kind of stuck with the clouds. And for now, we're looking at some sun in Fargo. Temperatures again this afternoon, so upper 40s, getting to 44 right now makes me wonder if we'll hit 50 in Fargo. It's possible. And we're looking at conditions that will stay mild into tonight. We know this is going to end. We've been talking about it. We'll have more details on that coming up here in just a couple of minutes.
So enjoy it while we have it. Lisa, thank you very much. It's being called V-Day in the UK as a mass vaccination program against the coronavirus is now underway. Tina Kraus is in London with more on the rollout of that Pfizer vaccine.
British grandmother Maggie Keenan is the first person in the world to receive the Pfizer vaccine against COVID-19. She turns 91 next week and says it's the best early birthday gift she's ever received.
So wonderful, really. Yeah.
The UK's first 800,000 doses are going to the most vulnerable, hospital and nursing home workers and the elderly.
Oh.
Like 98-year-old Jack. The vaccine is given in 2 doses, 21 days apart. British officials call the mass immunizations a light at the end of a very dark tunnel.
It's amazing to see this tremendous shot in the arm for the entire nation, but we can't afford to relax now.
Britain is the hardest hit country in Europe with more than 61,000 deaths from the coronavirus, one of the highest in the world per capita, even higher than the U.S. The UK has secured 40 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine, enough for 20 million people. The U.S. has an order in for 100 million doses, pending FDA approval. British officials admit they face huge logistical challenges in rolling out the vaccine nationwide. While hospitals are first to give the shots, vaccine points will eventually be set up in parking lots, sports stadiums, even race courses. After self-isolating for most of 2020, Maggie is thankful the vaccine will allow her to see her family again in the new year. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
That Pfizer vaccine is said to be 95% effective, and it was developed in partnership with the German company BioNTech. MSUM President Ann Blackhurst issued a statement in response to recent racist acts at NDSU. In her statement, President Blackhurst says the university denounces racism and is making serious changes to ensure racist acts are dealt with. As part of that, all syllabi will have an anti-bias statement, and MSUM will also have a bias incident response team to deal with those situations. The school says it has been taking action like mandatory employee training and revising the first-year curriculum to make the campus more inclusive. In our consumer alert this afternoon, the Gap store in Fargo is closing. West Acres Mall posted on Facebook saying the store will close at the end of January. This comes as Gap stores across the country struggle. No plans have yet been made for that space. In other consumer news, American Airlines will start selling travelers at-home COVID-19 test kits to avoid quarantines. The initiative starts tomorrow for travel beginning on Saturday. American said the testing plan is the first from a U.S. airline that focuses on domestic travel. The program targets those traveling to states with travel restrictions. Let's Get Checked is the company partnering with the airlines for that $129 test. It recommends travelers order their test for at least 5 days before their flight. Coming up at noon, is flu season affecting more or less people than COVID in Minnesota? We break down those numbers. But next, that mild weather continues. You heard Lisa Green talking about how beautiful it is out there, but it's not going to stick around forever. We get a check of her forecast next.